This is breaking news from News 8.
We are following breaking news in our Sunrise Smart Start this morning. One man has died after a fatal dirt bike crash late last night. Police responded to Bay Street and Webster Avenue in Rochester around 10 for the report of that crash. Investigators say a 36-year-old man on a dirt bike was hit from behind by a car traveling in the same direction. Investigators tell us that dirt bike was stationary at the time, but did not have headlights or taillights. The dirt bike operator was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the car has been charged with DWI. To Washington now, tens of millions will begin receiving the first payment of the expanded child tax credit today. Eligible families with children 17 and under will begin receiving those checks from the federal government as part of the president's COVID relief plan. Joined live this morning by Washington correspondent Kelly Meyer. Kelly, good morning. Let's begin here. Who qualifies for the child tax credit?
Good morning. Well, not everyone qualifies. First, like you said, they have to be under the age of 17. Then, if your income is $75,000 or lower for a single taxpayer, you qualify for the full amount. And then if it begins to phase out, if you're 75 and above, at $200,000 for a single taxpayer, the payments phase out entirely, and these all end in December. They will be delivered on the 15th of each month.
Let's talk about inflation because it's been in the news lately. How is that impacting these payments?
Yeah, these payments come at a time when inflation is climbing. Consumer prices increased 5.4% in June from a year earlier. That's the biggest gain since August 2008. During the Great Recession. So these payments are coming into people's direct deposit, into your mailboxes with a check. If you aren't getting it, you can go to IRS.gov to check and see when your payment is coming. There is a push to make these payments permanent among Senate Democrats, and President Biden is asking for that in the second part of his American Families Plan. He's asking for those to be continued through 2025, but that faces an uphill battle here on Capitol Hill.
We'll keep watching that. Kelly, as always, thank you for your live reporting. We appreciate it. And we should mention again, those payments begin today. They'll be arriving in people's inboxes. Well, the IRS will send out money based on last year's tax return. Those who began making more money this year and no longer qualify for the child tax credit should go to irs.gov to opt out of the program. All right, James Gilbert, lots of folks have been talking about rain with good reason. It's rained just about every day in July, but not perhaps on this Thursday, right?
I think we should get a break, Mark. It should be nice to see, especially for those that are trying to get out on the golf course. Why not kick off this upcoming weekend early with a round? Temperatures climb pretty quickly, though. We'll be at about lower 70s by 8, 9 a.m. Then by noon, we'll be in the 80s, upper 80s this afternoon and this evening. Isolated shower thunderstorms still going to be possible across the Finger Lakes, but most of us remain dry. Glance at the weekend. Saturday, could see area-wide showers and thunderstorms there. You see the rain chance up to 70%. Just an isolated shower or two on Sunday, but we'll have the commute forecast for you coming up in a couple of minutes. Mark.
All right, James, thank you. And let's check the roads right now with our Sunrise traffic. One accident to pass along. We mentioned it a couple of minutes ago. It's in Irondequoit on Route 104 at the Bay Bridge, and another on Emerson Street at Avery Street in Rochester. The main arteries, 390, 490, and 590, are running on time. Well, today marks 2 years since the tragic death of Bryce Rayner, the 3-year-old who fell into a grease trap in Rochester. Rayner fell into that trap at the Tim Hortons on University Avenue while at work with his mother. Legislation called Bryce's Law would mandate statewide safety regulations when it comes to those grease traps. Those who helped draft the bill say it could help businesses prevent another tragedy.
Nobody took the initiative to just put out some simple signage that said, hey, this goes into a large vat into the ground. Please have caution.
Well, Bryce's Law has passed the State Assembly and Senate. It is expected to be signed into law by the governor this summer. Kirk Ashton, the Hilton Elementary School principal accused of sexually abusing over 30 students there, is due back in court today. He is charged with multiple counts of sexual abuse against minors from 2nd to 5th grades. Multiple families in the district have filed separate lawsuits against both Ashton and the Hilton Central Schools. Rochester police identifying the victim in yesterday's fatal shooting on Carn Street. Officers responded just before 1 a.m. to find 34-year-old Kelvin Harris Jr. suffering from a gunshot wound to the upper body. He was pronounced dead at the scene. No suspects are in custody. Anyone with information about this fatal shooting is asked to call 911. Well, a Rochester woman has died after being attacked by a suspect armed with a hatchet. Police responding to Chili Avenue last Saturday around 1 a.m. and found 47-year-old Heather Majors with those serious injuries. She later died at the hospital Monday. No suspects are in custody. Police believe this was not a random attack. News 8 getting an inside look at the home in Rochester that was destroyed by a crash that sent 5 children to the hospital. It happened on Thomas Street Tuesday around 5:30. The car went through that house and into the living room. Those 5 children, ages 2 to 13, all taken to the hospital. As I mentioned, one adult was also injured. 2-year-old twins have minor injuries. The oldest son has a lacerated liver, and the oldest daughter has a fractured back, lacerated liver, broken rib, and internal bleeding. Despite these injuries, we're told all of the children are expected to recover. Governor Cuomo announcing New York will invest $12.5 million into renewable energy projects. That includes research into green hydrogen. Carmela Boykin is live this morning with what it means for Rochester. Carmela, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. That's right. I'm outside Plug Power, which is a hydrogen fuel cell company and is one of the forms of renewable energy that will be used to reduce carbon emissions in New York State. So how will using green hydrogen help? VP of Project Development at Plug Power, Brenner Brophy, says they could help industries that rely on diesel fuels.
They're an important part of decarbonizing hard to decarbonize parts of the economy. So heavy-duty transportation, heavy-duty trucking, shipping, aviation, trains.
A concern, though, is high cost. RIT research professor Dr. Thomas Traybold says as the technologies expand, the cost will reduce.
They're quite expensive and difficult to compete with the incumbent technology. But as you take advantage of economies of scale and you start selling more and more systems and build up your manufacturing capacity and your supply chain, you start moving down that cost curve.
Dr. Traybold says long-term, this will benefit the city.
It can kind of contribute to the renaissance of Rochester in a sense. I think the future looks very bright for these technologies in the local region.
And Brophy says it's essential that we use all forms of renewable energy available, including wind and solar, to reduce carbon emissions. Reporting in Henrietta, Carmela Boykin, News 8. Mark?
Carmela, thank you. The governor's goal again, reducing the state's carbon emissions some 85% by the year 2050. Hey, let's see what folks might be talking about at the water cooler this morning. The Buffalo Bills making tickets available for select practices at this year's training camp at Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park. At this point, the tickets are only available for season ticket holders. The team deciding to hold camp in Orchard Park at the home stadium over St. John Fisher this year. Officials say the move will keep players and fans safe while creating more space for social distancing as well. Of course, lots of anticipation for the coming NFL season and the Buffalo Bills prospects. But hey, let's not race past summer here, James. Still got, we're mid-July here, July 15th.
Right.
And maybe a day without rain.
But believe it or not, it'll be possible as we look to, I'm sure a lot of the high school football teams, though, getting ready for doubles around the corner a couple of weeks away.
Just a couple of weeks away.
Right. As we think about our morning commute, really a nice day, finally. We'll avoid the rain for today. A little bit of fog in some pockets across the Finger Lakes this morning, but otherwise a pretty decent drive for you. We start off in the 60s. We should finish in the upper 80s this afternoon to near 90. Showers and thunderstorms return, though, for Friday and Saturday, so you might want to make some alternate plans if you have outdoor plans on Saturday.
All right, James, thank you. And we mentioned earlier in the show a cool sweep in effect today in Rochester as well. That's it for us for now here on Sunrise. Our next update coming up in 30 minutes. CBS This Morning is coming up next. Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.